Hey, I'm Jim Weber in the Fox 13 Weather Center. Thanks for logging on to MyFoxHurricane.com. So things getting a lot more active. We now have a tropical depression in the Caribbean. First stop, though, you look out into the Atlantic. We'll quickly talk about these. We've got that Invest 97, 40 to 70% chance of some development, and then 98, which is further out into the Atlantic. Both of these looking a little bit better organized, so there's the chance that either one of these could develop over the next couple of days. But again, they're out over open water, so really no concern at this point. So here's a closer view of newly formed tropical depression number 9. This is in the Caribbean. Through the overnight hours, really starting to see a lot more of that deep convection starting to flare up with this. That low-level circulation, closed low, is now formed with this. So the Hurricane Center has gone ahead. They've started the advisories. In fact, later on this afternoon, the Hurricane Reconnaissance plane is scheduled to fly down in this system. And that's where we really start to get a lot more of that information of exactly the structure of this system. You get a lot better information to plug into these computer models. But already we're seeing some pretty good agreement among these computer models. So the steering currents are somewhat strong in the atmosphere. So not going to say that it's a done deal, but at least at this moment, the confidence is relatively high on this forecast. But obviously, there's always little things that change here and there. So right now, located at 16.9, 79.2. Top winds right now are at 35 miles an hour, sitting about 115 miles to the south-southwest of Jamaica right now. So it'll work its way on in that general northwesterly direction. It looks like it makes its way over that extreme western tip of Cuba, and it's moving over warm waters in the Caribbean, lower wind shear, so conditions are conducive that we're going to see more strengthening, especially once this makes its way into the Gulf of Mexico. We have got plenty of warm water in the Gulf of Mexico, so that strengthening, I think, over the weekend, and there's the possibility this could go to a Category 3 hurricane. Really, I think a pretty distinct possibility. We could see this get even stronger than that 110 miles an hour. So this is something we really got to watch as it moves up into the Gulf of Mexico. But those steering currents will generally take it right up into the central Gulf of Mexico as we go through the next several days. Look at the various computer models, and you see at this point, this early on in the game, you actually have quite a bit of consensus among these various computer models. But still, there's quite a range in exactly where this could go along the Gulf Coast. So you turn to the European and the GFS, always our go-to models, and you're seeing pretty good agreement among these models. The GFS maybe a little bit further to the east, the European more towards the west, and the GFS maybe a little bit faster with that motion. But it also looks like maybe the European forecasting this will be a little bit stronger of a system as well. So here's what exactly is steering this along. Obviously, we've got TD number 9 down in the Caribbean right now. We've got the big ridge sitting to the north, which is protecting us, giving us that east and southeasterly wind. But notice what it also does is it steers anything around that ridge into the weakness on that outside periphery of the ridge, and that's what we'll be steering it in that direction as we head through the weekend and into the first part of next week. So obviously, we will continue to monitor this very closely. We'll keep you updated right here on MyFoxHurricane.com.